Oh, we're live. That's simple. All right. So, like we said, we'll just wait for everyone to pop on. But no. So I'm in Florida. Kev, where are you at? You at home, right?
Mom's house. I'm at my mom's house
Oh,
right
you in
now.
Cleveland?
Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised, Cleveland Heights to be exact. That's where I'm currently located at my mom's house. My mom has gone out ripping and running with my grandmother. My wife is with her sister. My brother didn't come to town, so I got the house to myself right now. So I hit you up. I was like, hey, man, I got that nervous energy, man, because today is the game. I was like, I know you down in Florida enjoying the sunshine, but like, let's do a quick little pregame before the actual game today.
No. So it's actually been like rainy and cloudy the first couple days we've been here. Today's the nicest day, but we don't care. We're going to be inside the sports bar for the entire day. No regrets. No regrets. But yeah, did you see the beer I sent you? The Hardball beer. I know. I owe you Red Stripe. I owe you Red Stripe Hooray beer.
Yeah,
But
no, I went to three different Giant Eagles up here. One because I had to pick up some stuff for macaroni and cheese for Thursday, and then on actual Thanksgiving Day, I had to go to another Giant Eagle because my mom forgot something. And then yesterday, I was by a different Giant Eagle. I was like, let me run in here and see if they had it. So I've been able to find it in three different Giant Eagles up here. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong stores.
well, we got to find one way or another. I'm going to find some one way or another because when Ohio State wins coming up in a bit, I don't know if we're allowed to drink in the studio or not, but you know what? I don't think either of us have ever got a warning at the O Alpha Media. So, strike one, right? We got two more after that. So,
Hey, I'm telling you this, man. This game right here, like obviously it's always important, but like it's really like the magnitude of this game. I mean, you think back to what was the 1 versus 2 game, the Troy Smith Heisman year. You have Bo passing away basically the night before the game, which was obviously real life situation. Somebody losing their life. But I've never thought of another Ohio State Michigan game having this much on the line with this much drama added to it because there's obviously bragging rights always on the line. Who's going to win the Big Ten, who's going to go to the Big Championship game. All those things matter, but then add on all the sign stealing and all that type of stuff. Jim Harbaugh not being able to coach on the sidelines today. It's so much on the line today for both squads. A lot of pressure obviously is on Coach Day to win this game because, like, if you don't win this game, that'll be three in a row, and you lost, and they didn't even have their head coach out there. But you flip it to the other side, and you kind of touched on it last week about like, hey, if Michigan doesn't win this game and the NCAA comes down with a hammer, then what? Then what? So I think it's equal pressure on both teams to win this game.
no, and then I forgot about, too, like, the 12 team playoff starts next year.
Yeah.
So, technically, like, that's what stinks about this, too. Is like the last couple of years, we could have had Ohio State, Michigan back to back weeks, right? Last regular season game and then the Big Ten championship game. Because the new format next year, that's what it switches to. But if they do drop the hammer on Michigan, they're gonna, they're gonna be kind of. I don't know what the status is. Like, I want them to be held accountable. Now, here's the deal. I've told you this before. I didn't really think all this stuff was that big a deal until they started trying to deny everything, or like just basically act like we're the gaslight everyone and act like we're the crazy ones. Now I want the hammer to come down, but then afterwards I'm going to be like, well, now we're going to go back to what I hated for the last decade, which was Michigan not being relevant and not really caring about this game. Now you all did, I didn't. I was like, I'm tired of the double-digit lines and the double-digit beatdowns and all that fun stuff. So we'll see what it's. I posted a little bit ago. I'm like, hey, Michigan fans bragging about beating Ohio State the last couple of weeks or last couple of years is like bragging about Barry Bonds being the home run champion. You got to put a big old asterisk right next to that. So I'm just reminding people,
Absolutely, man. And you're right about, everything involving the body like that. But like for me, I'm looking at it strictly from Ohio State perspective of we got to get this done because as much as the cheating helped them and they can deny it to the cows come home, if it didn't help them, they wouldn't have been doing it. They wouldn't have been spending money on it. They wouldn't be doing all these things to do to be able to try not only to beat Ohio State but to win the national championship. But we got to take care of our business because the winner of this game plays Iowa in the Big Ten championship. We all obviously are probably just going to look right past Iowa and get ready for this defeat. I mean, it, it's this game right here. And one of the biggest things that I learned earlier this morning from Coach Day is everybody's up. outside of Maya Williams, like the Rams, everybody is ready. So Tom Eggenberg, he did play in day to rest up for this game. So like so much is on the line. Like you've gotten guys to buy what you're selling. I talk about Dave Dallin Evans so much on the show. Like get the ball more. He needs to get the ball more. He says he's up to, and you kind of like bought everybody into him taking a red shirt year. But like now it has to pay off. Now it has to pay off. Now you sold people on taking days off and resting to make sure they're healthy. And miss senior day, miss their last chance of playing this you got to make it pay off with a win versus that team up north.
Shaw, if you're in the comment section, because you're banned from calling into the show, but the cool thing is we're not live on the air. So if Shaw's in the comment section, by the way, he's been pouting all week. He hasn't liked one single thing. He hasn't commented on one single thing. The last time we've heard from him is he came out to the firehouse. He brought some items, which we appreciated for the holiday help out. His items contributed to the 3,500 pounds of food. So we appreciate it. But Shaw, raise your hand if you're in the comment section because we can send a little invite. We might be able to pull your big old mug right into the shot here, and I'd like to piss you off here on this morning, to be quite honest with you. So. Kev, did we lose you? Did we lose the connection? Oh, Kev gone. Let me see what we got working on here. All right, well, I'll just hang out here by myself for a little bit. Just a reminder, by the way, we're on the Justin Kidder Show Facebook page. We're on the ESPN Dayton Facebook page. 10:30 coverage begins on the station website. Look, we got Kev back.
All right, here.
There we go. Now we off and rolling.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. No, I don't know if you heard. Shaw's been pouting all week. I truly think you're the only one he likes because when you're not on the show, he doesn't interact. He don't do nothing. He should know that when Kev's away, he could tempt me into bringing him on the show. Kidder could just break the rules. He ain't smart enough to figure that one out yet. But
How was the show this week?
What?
How was the show this week?
It was short, right? State played at 4:45, or they played at 5. Both, I think, both of the days that you were out.
Okay.
So we only had to go a couple hours or whatever. KB came in the other day.
Okay.
We chatted with him about it. Remember all the drama? Remember the tunnel drama from last year? Didn't that seem like so long ago? Because they were the Zach Smith podcast was talking about how like the NCAA has been like super hard on them about wanting to know detailed like the itinerary for when teams are going out, what the plan is to keep the teams separated. Like KB didn't agree with me that I said this is the most intense matchup that's been in the history of this rivalry. He didn't agree, but I'm like, I don't know how you can't. Because these teams hate each other as it is, but I feel like there's extra hatred this year. Like these two teams, the media hate one another. Like I think they have to be very careful with it.
Absolutely, 100%. I think not only this is the most intense game there's ever been, I think it proves out because of what's at stake. There's a lot of obviously the Big Ten championship is at stake, beating your rivals at stake, going to the CFP is at stake. Let's be real, man. Like being on the hot seat from Coach Day is on the table, and these players love Coach Day, and vice versa for Michigan. Like a lot of those guys are headed to the NFL next year, so this is their last chance to beat us and to prove to everybody else, to the naysayers like you and I and everybody else in Buckeye Nation saying that they needed Heat to beat us, so they're trying to prove that they didn't need signs to beat us and everything like that. So it's a lot going on, and I think maybe like even back in KB's day, there was obviously hatred there, but there was mutual respect from obviously coach to coach, player to player, and everything like that. Kind of like, hey man, you fight your best friend one day and you shake their hand the next. I think that there will not be a kind handshake. I think it's going to be whoever wins is going to be a blow by handshake, if that. And I think like it's also you got to factor in the fan bases. The fan bases are super upset as well. And like, I mean, you're on social media way more than I am, but I'm sure the message boards are going crazy.
They're killing them on the boards, No, the reason for one, Nick, what up, Nick? Nick says over under 3 scuffles or fights.
Over.
I mean, like what? Like Nick, we talking like, I mean, you're gonna get the jawing and the pushing and shoving to start, like when they make their way out. There's always the shot of when the teams are warming up. One kind of A couple players trickle their way over, cross enemy lines, if you will. So I think that'll count as one. But I think that, I think you'll see it more in the middle at the beginning of the game. Then it kind of eases in. The feeling out portion's kind of done, and then they'll start jawing as the game gets more intense in the second half. The reason this game is so wild is because I'm trying to picture, no matter which coach is facing the media in the post game, like, I can't imagine how tough it'll be for Michigan if they lose, because they've gone all in. They don't know if they have all the chips or not, but they put all their chips in the middle of the table. They've gone all in. If they lose, they look so ridiculous. They look absolutely insane. And then if Ohio State loses, all the John about the sign steal and stuff, like, they're going to look absolutely ridiculous. So that's what I'm so excited about this game. This isn't like a respectable matchup. Like, both teams, there's a respectable loser, whatever. No, whoever loses this, like, they are going to look kind of insane. They're going to look ridiculous, and that's why, like, this is more than just your typical bragging rights game. It's to save face. Ohio State will look like a bunch of crybabies that they blamed Michigan that, oh, we didn't lose the last couple of years. You cheated to beat us. Well, who's to say they're not cheating now to beat you? But at the same time, like, they're going to lose a lot of sympathy if they lose this game, because I think what they've done is Ohio State's usually a dislikable program. Everyone's cheering for them today because Michigan's the most hated program. But if Michigan loses, they've talked all that shit for the past year.
Yeah.
Oh, I could say shit. I could say shit because we're not on the air. Holy crap. I just realized, yeah, nice. They've talked that shit for the last year. So now, they're going to look ridiculous if they lose. So I can't wait. There's no bigger matchup than this one. Even the biggest Auburn, Alabama games, all those, this is huge. Nothing bigger than this one.
Yeah, because it's the off the field storyline. I mean, I love, like, hey, man, I'm not about all that. I want to see the actual game, but you can't help but to look at the because what they done at football game. So that's a talking point as well. So I want to ask you, how many touches does Marv need for us to win this game?
You don't want to overdo it with them to where, like, because Michigan's going to zero in on him, or Michigan can say, hey, he can beat us. No one else is going to beat it. I mean, that's more of like a basketball approach. I'd say at least 10 to 12 targets is what he needs. At the very least, 10 to 12 targets. I mean, look, you know what I mean? Like, I think between him and Trevion Henderson, but at the same time, Stover's been like the safety blanket for Kyle McCord. When Kyle McCord's looked his best, it's because of Stover being out there, not just out there, but being, one of the main playmakers. So that's going to be key.
Yeah, Marv needs 15 touches. I think 15.
15.
Yeah.
The more the better. Bottom line. Yeah.
I said this earlier this season. Like, I'm cool with receiver in college football. Feed him the ball. Give him the ball. He's a playmaker. And something I really like that Coach Day has been doing with him a lot more is, like, moving him around the field. He's not just lined up wide on the right side. He's moving to the left side. He's moving him into the slot. He had that reverse for a touchdown versus Michigan State. Like, they're using him in more ways just to get the ball in his hand. And then, making people think. Making like, oh, maybe they're setting something up for later, which will open things up for somebody else. So if it's a decoy for Marv, if it's throwing it to him a ton, running the reverse, you got to get him the ball. And obviously, if it's a passing down and they're dumb enough to leave him one-on-one, throw it to him. I don't care what the read was. If he's one-on-one.
Ryan Roth said 10 targets. Don't forget Ibuka.
Oh, you can't forget Emeka. I mean, he's a dynamic playmaker, doing a lot better on that ankle injury that he had earlier in the season. So he's back. I wouldn't even mind having Emeka return punts again. Jaden Ballard's done a good job on punt returns in his absence, but I need all the heavy hitters to be on their end and to be able to touch the ball as much as
Andrew Robbins, he says, beat those cheaters. Go Buckeyes.
Absolutely. You see it.
Oh, you got the M blocked out, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Keith Tolliver says, prediction, Ohio State 34, Michigan 14. Keith, I think Keith's a Michigan fan. Keith, who's your team? But anyways, he goes, I think Moore is overwhelmed calling plays and being a head coach. OSU actually running the ball is huge. It sets up play action and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, I think that's key, too.
You've been on that heavy about Trevion getting the ball.
Let's see. Continue to go down this list. What we got? David Mann. What up, David? Good morning. David says our O-line, front seven, is the biggest key today, with Henderson being 1B. He's got to have 25 touches today and keep that balance in the offense. I think you just take what the defense gives you, which this is the best defense well, Penn State was very good, but obviously very good defense they're facing. You got to take what the defense gives you, but you also got to be the aggressor. You got to initiate your talent. You got to, go at your talent too. So we'll see.
Yeah, the great part about TreVeyon Henderson is he's one of those running backs that can take it 50, 60 yards. A lot of times we get frustrated with TreVeyon for taking those 1 yard games, but those 1 yard games, that's the difference between all the other running backs. They'll get a 1 yard gain while the other guys get like 2-3 yards. They don't have the ability to take it the distance like he. So, yeah, being patient with the run game is key. But the flip side of that, we're so concerned about their running game, Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. Their offensive line isn't last year's offensive line. We can't allow the ghost of the last 2 years to affect us in this game, because guess what? A lot of those dominant guys that they had are in the NFL. They still really got really good players on this year's team, but Aiden Hutchinson is not on. Ojabo is not on that team. Those guys are getting paid in the NFL right now. They got a shaky situation, I want to say, at right tackle. And JT and Sawyer, whoever he's going up against, that's the money. This is a money play right here. You got to go get after the quarterback and harass the quarterback. For us, obviously, we got to stop that run early to force them to third and put them in passing situations, so we can attack them, take the pass ball.
Yeah, and I saw some stat the other day. I forgot how many games that the team that has had the most rushing yards wins this matchup. John Cook says whoever wins the rushing game, will win this game, as far as that's concerned. Ryan Hellzapple says Michigan only threw it 25 times last year and ran it 35 times. Ohio State was running the ball but decided to throw it 48 times and only ran it 29 times. So, yeah, that balance, the balance of the play calls is one thing, but obviously executing the play and the scheme is going to be the other. Michigan not cheating, that'll play a role in today.
Absolutely. And that's the other thing about the whole cheating scandal. We focus so much on the defensive side of the them knowing our offensive system, play ball. But also on the flip side, we're only stealing our offensive side. They were also stealing our defensive side as well. So, that plays in. But I give Michigan a lot of credit for basically last week, Maryland, because, look at crap game, whatever you want to call it, like, we're able to get up out of there. We set up this matchup. Our game was a complete blowout. Take care of our business, really allowed guys to rest up even more. So I think we're the healthier, right? More talented.
Shout out to Kathy Carell, by the way. She said we're at the James today. The hospital is gearing up for this massive game. Shout out to Kathy and Greg, by the way. It's the parents of my best friend. He was the best man at my wedding or whatever, but they're spending the day at the James. So I'm going to give them a shout out, Kathy. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, by the way. Let's see, continuing to go down the list. Let's do a couple more, Kev. I know we both got to. I'm here, by the way, I'm in Florida. My father-in-law he turned 60 today. So I want to say happy birthday to John Dorner, by the way, big 6-0. So I forgot what sports bar we're going to. We found a sports bar down here. I mean, it's just massive. They have like over 90 TVs in this thing. So that's where we're going to be watching the game today.
My pops, he went up to Detroit for Thanksgiving. So I talked to him on Wednesday when I got here. And I'm back in time. And I'm like, look here, old man. You better have your ass in front of the TV, either in Detroit or in Cleveland, before noon on Saturday. I don't want to hear no excuses. Like, all right, look, man. So he hit me up this morning, like, all right, we about to hit the road now. I was like, all right, I'll see you after the game.
All right, last thing before we head out, like, if Ohio State loses, what's that mean for Day? That's what I meant earlier. The outcome of this game, like the ramifications afterwards, like it's not like, oh, social media backlash. Like, Ryan Day wins, he's a legend moving forward. He loses, he's not losing his job, but my goodness, he's gained a ton of supporters this year, especially after that Notre Dame rant, even though I poked fun at it. Like, a lot of Buckeye fans clamored to him. They've won a lot of games this year that you even said. I mean, we both didn't expect them to be undefeated heading into this matchup, especially with the question marks on defense, the offensive line. The run game was bad for a while. New quarterback. They lose, though. He's gained a lot of support. They lose today, then what?
Oh, it all flushes down the toilet. All the goodwill that Coach Day has gained from the fan base and across the country flushes down the toilet, and then you get a backlash from all the other programs, not obviously for just losing, but like losing to them again, losing to them without their head coach. And, let's be clear, like you said earlier, teams are rooting for us. Teams want us to take care of it because they want the cheaters out of here. They want the blatant cheaters out of here. There's a fine line between, cheating and taking it over the edge. Yes, every team in major college football cheats when it comes to recruiting. Yeah, that's kind of like above board. Like everybody, all right, man, everybody doing some type of cheating. Nobody's flying people out to scout teams, everything like that. And not only are other programs rooting for us to take care of them and get them out of here and like show them, but I'm sure the CFP is rooting for us as well. Like they don't want to have to make this decision. They want it to play out on the field and like, all right, that's one less thing we got to worry about. We don't want to hear any backlash from any other programs about, y'all let Michigan in and they cheated. They want Ohio State to handle their dirty work for them. And hopefully we can do that.
All right, man. Well, hey, we got to go. Let's see. We got to be out here. Oh, yeah, predictions. What is right? Would you usually cue the music or have something? Just to remind you, by the way, I want to remind you, Shaw supports a cheating program. I don't know if I've said that in a while, but, just throwing that out there. All right, predictions. What you got?
I got 23-17 Ohio State. It's going to be a nail biter.
Every year we think it's going to be a low-scoring game because more times than not, these defenses are good. But I still think, have you seen, like, the results, like, the last 10 years? I'm like, man, there's so many games in the 30s and 40s. It's ridiculous. I'm going to go 34-27 Ohio State. 34-27 Ohio State. Both teams look sluggish offensively, but there's just something about this game where offenses open up. Now, it'll be some ugly Iowa, type game where it's like 13-10 the final or something crazy like that. But either way, I don't care what the score is, Kev. It could be 500 to 499. As long as Ohio State is winning 500 to 490, I really don't care. So,
go Bucks, man.
All right, I got to go pack up. We got to check out of here. So, adios, man. Hey, get that beer. I'll give you two. I'll give you 2 Hooray beers. I'll get 2 of the Red Stripes, 2 cases, if you can find that Harbaugh beer.
I bet. I'm on the hunt.
All right, adios.
Peace. Go Bucks.